I'm Alex Turner.
And I'm Richie K.
We're in 8th grade and we go to Oglethorpe Scouts Academy. Title of our experiment is Best Airplane Designs for the Best Flight. Our testable question is what airplane design is the best for flight?
Some background information that we got is that aerodynamics is how objects move around air. And the four forces of flight is lift, weight, thrust, and drag. Lift is the force that pushes an object up. The weight is the force that brings the object down, but it also makes it go farther. Thrust is the force that pushes the object forward. It could be your hand when you launch an airplane or thrusters for real airplanes. But in this experiment, we used a ramp, so they all have the same amount of thrust. So the plane would depend on the design to fly far. The drag is the force that pulls an object down because of the resistance of the air. And these are the sources that we got it from.
Our testable question is what airplane design is best for flight?
One independent variable that we had is the weight of the airplanes.
A dependent variable is the distance the airplane flies.
Some control variables are the angle how the plane is launched. The force used to fly the airplane will stay the same. The plane will always be paper, whether it's cardstock or copy paper. Every plane has a paperclip attached to it, so it will be shot off the ground smoothly.
Our hypothesis is that a slick and narrow design will make it travel further than other paper airplanes with the least resistance from the wind.
Our purpose is to create a design that flies on the farthest and has the best performance, because there could be a better airplane design that's more energy efficient and better for the environment. We hope people will look into this research in creating the planes that are better for the ecosystem.
These are the materials we used: different kinds of paper, a tape measure, wooden slingshot, our hands, books and websites on what designs to make, tape, rubber bands, paper clips, and we also had staples.
And these are the steps how we did it all, and there's 10 in total.
This is a data table showing that Skinny went the farthest out of all of them, and the straight glider went the shortest out of all of them, on average, and they both weigh the same at 5 grams.
As you can see, this is our graph, and it shows that Skinny went the farthest with 5 grams, and the other airplane's distance.
Experimentation results. After finishing all of the testing and trials for this experiment, we found that some of the heavier planes did fly farther than their lighter counterparts. On average, of all the heavier planes and all the lighter planes had a higher average for the distance they went. This shows that the design of the planes does matter more than the weight. We also found that the skinnier and narrow planes typically went farther than the wider glider planes.
So these are the pictures of the airplanes that we used and the ramp where that shot off the airplanes.
And you could see the difference in designs for skinny and straight glider.
And you can see the paper clips attached to it.
Yep. Our analysis. Some experimental error we had during the experiment was that the paper clip that we stapled to the paper airplane may have shifted in flight and altered the flight path of the plane. Another error we had was that some planes were tested outdoors while others were tested indoors. Another experimental error that occurred is the dinosaur hit the wall 3 times when we were testing it indoors, so we were not able to see exactly how far it went.
Conclusion. During the experiment, we discovered that the plane that went the farthest on average was the plane called Skinny. The plane that went the shortest distance was called the straight glider, which was very wide and too top-heavy, resulting in it plummeting to the ground. However, Alex flew this indoors with no wind, which could have altered the results. The planes that had the furthest average distance were the narrow and sleek planes, proving our hypothesis to be true.
With all of our plane designs, the weather became a factor in our experiment. Out of all of our planes, we were only able to test 2 of them outdoors, and on that day it was very windy, which could have also factored into our experiment. Due to it becoming colder outdoors, the remaining planes were tested indoors. The Skinny was one of the 2 tested outside, and that might be why it flew so well. The paper clips that we stapled to the planes either shifted or fell off entirely. This could have altered the flight path and messed up data. Based on the results of our experiment, our hypothesis is still proven true, but we would have preferred to conduct our experiment in the same environment, preferably all outdoors, but the weather did change our plans.
We would like to thank Mr. Mackey for helping us with the science fair stuff and the sources that gave us this new knowledge, and Axel's dad for making the ramp.
And this is a picture of our safety sheet and abstract.
Thank you for your time.
Have a wonderful day.